by the police in Manchester. How does that make you feel personally after the very emotive words that you just said about your service and the colleagues you've lost? And a question to the Deputy CMO, if I might. Obviously, it's too early to start talking about relaxing the lockdown and restrictions because you don't have the data set. But when the time does come for that in weeks in advance, maybe, what are the sort of numeric targets you would consider happy for case loads in hospitals, admissions, overall fatality rates, whatever it might be? What's the level we have to get down to before you're happy to advise the government that it's now time to start thinking about relaxing them? Can you give the British people some sort of target they can look out for sometime in the future?
I'll ask, obviously, Ruth to answer the first and Professor Van Tam to answer the second. But just before I do, I just want to correct something in the premise of the second question, which is that it's not that we don't yet have data, it's that the information that we do have so far shows that we're not there yet. It's because if you look at the curves, whilst they are flattening, they're not flattening far enough to be able to make any changes, and that's what SAGE will look at again next week. So just it's an important nuance in the way that the question was put. But I'll ask JVT to answer it if you're happy with that marginally reframed question. Ruth.
So, Tom, it's very, very frustrating. It's personally frustrating to see people clearly not doing social distancing and clearly coming out in large groups. I was only on the way here, going over Westminster Bridge, seeing a whole horde of cyclists coming together. It is enormously frustrating. And the reason that is frustrating is because there's also still occasions where my colleagues are getting abuse from their neighbours for driving off to work. So Sam, a nurse in a mental health organisation in east of England, had grief from her neighbours because she was travelling to work. Our nurses, our healthcare staff need to be able to get to work. It's right and proper they do. But my ask of everybody, please stay at home, save lives and protect my staff.
Thanks very much. Professor.
Thank you, Secretary of State.